All right, Shalom. First and foremost, gonna give all glory, honor, praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of the great millstone. Peace, salutations to the men that are pushing this truth. All right, Shalom to the elect. Just finna get into this quick video. All right, basically on Esau's kingdom is falling down. All right, because if you see in this so-called white man, they're being exposed, for their wickedness, for their abominable acts. All right, they're out of this world, nasty weirdo acts. So with them being exposed, that's another sign that his kingdom is falling. All right, and it's about to fall. All right. So I'm gonna start with Isaiah 47:3. It says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered; yeah, thy shame shall be seen." All right, and what's going on, at the moment, you got the Epstein files, being released on Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right. It's a clip, of Trump, talking to this lady, about the Epstein files. And, he was like, yeah, there's rumors of, of me being, on the list, something like that, and then he said, yeah, but it was false. We need to get off this topic, basically. And he kept on saying that. He like, hey, we just need to get off this topic, and it was obvious that, from him speaking like that, it's obvious that, he, is, what's the word? Found guilty. He's found guilty. All right. He is guilty. All right. And you got many more, other, Edomites that's been exposed, but mainly right now, Donald Trump, because, he's the president, all right, of America, all right. So, hey, this is who's, these are the people that's ruling, all right, the world, they're out here, doing abominable acts, sleeping with little boys, all right, getting their behind penetrated, all right, all that nasty shit, It says, so again, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as man. So after so see, we're coming into the point where, their nakedness, all right, them being exposed, which is going to lead them to what? Having to crash out. They're going to have to, come down with that great wrath. All right. Let's get that real quick. Revelations 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the sea, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And yeah, Esau, so-called white man, he knows that he has a short time. All right, he's seeing that he's getting exposed on all levels. All right, not just with the Epstein files, but even with the ICE situation. That they got IDF members, in their within the ICE agents. All right, so now they're like, hey, we can't move. So now we just gotta show these people who we truly are. We just gotta, we just gonna have to come down with that great wrath. We just gonna have to, put on the, we're just gonna have to slaughter these people, and bring on this NWO, Something else real quick. Habakkuk 2 and verse 16. It says, thou art filled. Let me see. Sure, I can start at 15. Habakkuk 2 and 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken, also that thou mayest look on their nakedness. All right. And that's what Esau, Edom, so-called white man has done, that that drink, is representing, their philosophies, all right, their ways of life, all right. It made everybody, especially the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, naked. It made us what's it called? It made us shameful, before, the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, But what? It says woe unto him, all right? So death and destruction, because hey, Esau, so-called white man, he knows what he's doing. All right, he knows that he's making our people go off, all right, within their daily lives, all right. So hey, woe unto them, all right, and that's why shit is turning back on them, all right. That's why they're being exposed, all right. Verse 16: Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. All right. So see, it says thou art filled with shame for glory. All right. So see, hey, America is not how it used to be back in the 1950s, the 40s, or 1950s, 60s. When America, they was seen to be the biggest and baddest. All right, the most influential, place at the time, But now it's seeing that what America is full of degenerates. The leaders are weirdos. They're not real men. All right. So now, these people, hey, everybody's looking at this great whore like, hey, that place fucked up, When you see it, hey, the leaders are all weirdos. They doing all types of, abominable acts with little boys, all right, other men, all right, men on men, all right. It says, let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. All right. And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. All right. So, yeah. That shameful spewing is being, is on their glory. All right. Just like I just said, hey, America's not that, big and bad and most influential place no more. All right. Because they're being exposed. All right. They're being exposed on, on all levels. Let's get this. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 14. For Yahweh Shemel Shah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. All right. We'll see Yahweh Shemel Shah. See, he's bringing, the so-called white man's actions, before everybody's face. All right. Now everybody's looking at this man like, oh, this guy is weird. This guy is disgusting. Hey, we need to get this man out of rulership. This nigga need to get took down. That's why it says here, Revelation 17 and verse wait a second. Might be Jeremiah 50 or 51. Give me a second. Okay. Jeremiah 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And see, these nations, all right, they drunk of the philosophies of Esau, Edom, so-called white man, all right, to the point where what they thought of the so-called white man to be, the greatest, a great ruler, but they're seeing, hey, this man, he's just got us drunk, he got us our sight is fucked up. Our vision is fucked up. They're sobering up now and seeing that, what this man is truly, about. Therefore, what? These nations are mad. All right, they're mad that this is the man that got us under what's the word? Under subjection, So now we're coming into the point where what? These nations, they're coming against America. All right, they're not afraid to speak against, Babylon the Great, aka America, like how they used to be. All right. Because it's all, it's just all fucked up down here in Babylon the Great. All right, aka America. All right. You got people out here, complaining. All right, constantly complaining about the living situation. How they got no money. All right, you got people seeing that their leaders, are straight up weirdos. All right. So this place is just totally, at a decline, to the point where what? Hey, Esau, them so-called white men about to crash out. All right. But with him crashing out and, setting up the NWO, the New World Order, what? This place is, Yahweh Shai is going to come back. All right. They try to implement the MOTB. All right. They try to implement the MOTB, or not try, but they are going to implement it. But, everyone in the world, takes the MOTB, and therefore, their NWO is a success. Nah, yeah, you're going to implement it, but you're not going to get everyone, all right? Because before you get everyone, the elect is going to be preserved, all right? And what? Yahweh Shai, he's going to come back, all right? He's going to come back and, take you down, all right? So back in Isaiah 47, in verse 3 again, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So see, that's Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh Shai, he's not gonna meet, Esau, Edom as a man. All right, he's gonna come back in his, glorious state. As the scriptures say, what? Behold, he cometh with it. Let's get there. I'm probably gonna end it off on this. Revelations 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. So see, this is how Yahweh Shai is coming in his glorious state. All right, with his angels. All right, with the chariots, which the world literally calls, UFOs. All right, they're all, they're gonna come down upon this place, take this man down. Right along with you other heathen nations, all right? So that, yeah, you're getting exposed, but guess what? You're gonna, Esau, you're gonna make that move to where, you think you got everybody. Oh yeah, they're not gonna, they're gonna have to, subject themselves to me now, through this MOTB. You want to make it mandatory, all right, for everyone, all right. But guess what? Everyone is not going to take it. The elect is not going to take it, all right. Yahweh Shai is going to intervene, all right. So that was pretty much it, So Lord willing, that's what's edifying. Going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kagadash. Double honors to the apostle and others, great millstone. Peace, salutations to the men that's already pushing this truth. All right, shalom to the elect, shalom.